Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your guy, Keith, from Almost in Full Color. You know me, I know you guys. Now, if you guys have not checked it out, the Fosaken DLC for Destiny is amazing. I don't want to get into the whole thing. I want to talk about something very specific, and that is the game mode Gambit. Now, the game mode Gambit, you have two teams, your team and the opposing team, and you spawn into a map that is identical, but they run parallel to one another. So when you spawn in, you have enemies appear. Those enemies, you gotta take them out. Now when you take them out, they drop a mote. You can then pick up that mote to add to your mote stash. You can carry up to 15 motes. You can then take those motes back to the bank and deposit them. The first team to deposit 75 motes will then summon a primeval. Once you summon that primeval, you have to destroy your primeval. The first team to kill the primeval wins. So we'll think about this in two phases. You have one, your collection phase. You're gonna go, grab your motes, take them back to the bank. Two is your killing of your primeval. That's your slaying phase of the primeval. So this game mode is very simple, yet is very complex, because when you hit the mote numbers of 5, 10, and 15, you can then not only deposit into your bank, but when you deposit with those specific numbers, you then send a blocker to the other side. Now what this blocker does is it blocks the other team's bank, so they cannot deposit until they eliminate the blocker that you sent. If you send over a 5 mote, you send a small blocker. That is a taken phalanx. If you send over a 10, you send over a knight. And if you send over a 15, you send an ogre. Alright, so 5 to 9, small. 10 to 14, medium. 15, large. So one thing I do want to talk about here is when you go into the game mode, first and foremost, you need to make actions and you got to commit. All right. Standing around doing nothing is going to waste time. That's less DPS that you're doing. That's really going to hurt. So you need to commit to whatever it is. Number two, you should not be mote chasing. Now, what's a mote chaser? That's something I came up with. I don't know if there's an exact term, but I call them mote chasers. When I say a mote chaser, it means that you go and you just try to collect the motes. You don't try to help the team. You don't shoot anything. You don't throw grenades. All you do is you just run and pick up motes. No, okay? It's fine to go pick up motes, but at the same time, you need to be doing your best to not only pick up, but help eliminate at the same time. The motes, although they do despawn after a while, you know, kill your way up into a mote. All right, if you see a mote that's in your flight path, go ahead and murder up into it. All right, so you see a guy, go ahead and shoot him and slowly make your way to your mote. All right, do not be a mote chaser. Another thing that mote chasers do is they do not pay attention to their team. Let's say you have a teammate with a 4 and you only have 2 motes. Don't take that mote away from him, because he's about to hit 5, which means he can send a blocker. You're nowhere near 5, so there's no point in you really picking up that mote. Don't chase for it. All right. If you see a teammate with either 9 or 14, I mean, what's the point? You know. Now this game mode is best played with the team, but if you're solo queuing at these points, you definitely do not want to do that. Now if you're playing with the team, of course you can call out, hey, I'm at 4, let me grab that. I'm at 9, let me get that, and so on and so forth. But if you're just playing in solo queuing and you're just joined up with a random group, chances are if they have 14, they're going to hold that until they get 15. This is really scary for the next reason. Now, at certain points after you deposit so many motes, a portal will appear at the center of the map. You can then go into that portal to invade the other side. But the other team can do that to you as well. So if you got a teammate sitting on 14 and you're over here mote chasing and you're taking away motes, this is going to cause some real panic when the invader comes in. Now the invader, if you die with motes, you lose them. Invader or to ads. So you want to ensure that, number one, if an invader comes in, you're calling out where they're at. If you're able to use a mic and communicate. But if you aren't using a mic, you can't communicate, you want to do your best to limit their sight lines to you. So you want to kind of look at the map, but look at it in a way that you feel that you cannot be hit. You want to use your environment to give you cover, and at the same time will allow you to see around corners. If you need to, use an emote, and that will allow you to kind of see out a little bit wider, give you a better view of the map. But you want to ensure that you're giving yourself the best chance to either eliminate or evade the invader. There's nothing wrong with evading if you're not very comfortable with your PvP skills. If you don't think you can take that guy out, he only has 30 seconds in there. You can just hide out for 30 seconds, protect your motes. If you're sitting on 15, and you're like, I'm not really confident, let me leave it alone. If you have a mic, you're able to communicate, call out where he's at. Hey, he's at the beach. Hey, he's at steps. You know, try to get a team shot on him if you can. But if people are not committed and comfortable with it, hide out. Okay, it's the worst thing when you have people trying to do something that's not in their realm and then they end up losing the motes. This puts you behind the 8 ball. Which brings us to our next thing. Now, when you summon your primeval, so you got your 75 motes, you deposit them, your primeval is spawning up. You want to have a few things here. I don't know, if you have your super, that's great, but if not, that's fine. What you want to do is, you got to take out those 2 wizards first. Once you take those out, you're going to get this thing called a primeval slayer. This gives you more DPS to your primeval. All right. So taking out those, I mean, also the wizards are just hard hitting. So you kind of want to get those out because they hit stupid hard. You want to get those out. But now when your primeval is up, the portal summons up a little bit faster than normal. So you also want to be sure that you're looking out for invaders, watching out for that invader is here notification. And you want to go ahead and try to do your best to DPS on your primeval while at the same time watching your surroundings. Okay, so you get that primeval slayer buff. You're going to go in, burn your super on it, however you want to do it. Now, if you look, the longer it goes on, the more primeval slayer you get. So if you see it times 1, times 2, times 3. Now, let's say you're behind, really behind, right? You got your primeval up, maybe it's like at half health, but you see you have a primeval slayer stack of 7. Burn your super, burn your best thing that you have. You will melt it with that stack. I promise you, like, it's going to melt. If the other team is not seeming to get it done and somehow you got a stack of 7 over there, yeah, burn. If you got a Blade Barrage, Chaos Reach, burn it. I'm telling you, it's going to burn down very nice and you'll steal around. Now, if you're on the other side of that fence where you're like, man, I don't think that we're going to make it, other teams burn their primeval down pretty good, go ahead and just try to save your super for the next round and crank the next round off real nice. Like, all right, go into the next round with your super so that you eliminate your first set of enemies quite well. You get your team off on the good foot and you're already ahead of the ball game. You're sending over blockers, you're invading quite early. Another thing, if you invade, you know, because of course you can invade them too. If you invade, you don't have to kill anybody. Literally, your presence there is going to be a distraction to the point that they're going to be like, they're going to be looking for you. They're not going to be as focused on the ads as they are on staying away from you, because you're going to be a very scary presence. Because you kill them, they drop motes. Also, if you kill them during the primeval stage, they heal the primeval. So that's something that's going to scare the other team and really make them worried about where you are at all times. So if you're not very comfortable with PvP, but you find yourself in a place where you have to invade, don't worry too much. Just try to lay low, maybe take some pop shots, do what you got to do, but just try to stay alive for that full 30-second timer and just be a thorn in their side the whole time. Everyone, that concludes my basic Gambit tutorial for you all. Of course, there are many other very, very advanced techniques to utilize in this game mode, but I feel like what I've given you is a very, very good start on some methods to utilize while playing Gambit. It's a very fun game mode and I thoroughly enjoy it. I've almost been able to reset my rank, which is stupid, but thanks for watching. If we end up on the same fire team, I hope to burn some primevals down with you all. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Hey, you've got enough to pull a primeval. Bank those motes. Primeval's up! Kill it to win! The allies headed to the other side. Oh, yeah! Look at those hostiles! You're being invaded. Find them before they find you. That primeval's compromised. Hit it with everything you've got. They wanted a fight, you gave it to them. Invaders here, brace yourself. Invader down. Your ally's a hero. Primeval down. Good work.